great words against the Most High, giving all praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, double honor to the apostles and elders of great Muslim who were well, labouring in word and doctrine. Shalom, amen, and peace, and that means the elect. So Daniel chapter 7, verse 23, it says, "Thus he saith, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth." When you read in context, you had Assyria, Babylon, you had Persia, Media, you had the Greeks, and after that you had the Romans. Right, and the Romans really never died. Right, they fell off for a bit. Jake crept up in the rulership, but they came back in the form of NATO and the EU, right, spearheaded by Babylon the Great, okay, which today is the United States of America. I say today, Babylon the Great never was existing at the time of Rome. Now, it is that, in fact, that new kingdom. So Daniel 7 and 23, "Thus he saith, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces." Okay, and Rome conquered the whole earth damn near. But it was never put out until it was never fully, conquered like that until Babylon the Great, until America. Right, America conquered a lot more lands than Rome did, and even on that had a lot more influence through their media, through social media today, but mainly through that internet. That's what they pushed out. That's what they pushed out the doctrine. They did it military expanse, conquering, trying to make people like unto them. But nowadays, they've never had, the Babylonian Jews has never had such far-reaching engagement as since the internet come on. Now that's the same thing for the gospel. Now the main reason the internet was invented was for the pushing of the gospel. Okay, so it's the Lord that set it up. They should go to and fro, knowledge shall be increased. The same prophet Daniel in chapter 12, around the 10th, I think the 4th verse or the 10th verse. Anyway, right, so it'll break it in pieces, the earth. So you see, no one keeps their ancient culture. Everyone is on board with Babylonian Jews to varying degrees. Right, verse 24, "And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings." And you can see that in the history, right, which was how Babylon became to be one nation. Right, you had a lot of history through that. And to make a long story short, it was the Spanish, including the Portuguese, right, so the Iberians, the French, so the Louisiana Purchase, so on and so forth, and the Brits. Of course, that's why Babylon, the language of Babylon today is English, right? One of the main languages, obviously American English, but it's still a dialect of English. Why is that? Because of the history there. It was obviously used to be colonies, 13 colonies. So that's some of the history. So who fell before Babylon? Well, the Spanish, the French, and the Brits. Okay. So they subdued 3 kings. They became the top, ruler. Verse 25. "And he shall speak great words against the Most High." Now, who's this? This is the one that subdued the 3 kings. So Babylon the Great, so-called United States of America, is going to speak great words against the Most High. Right, and that's known as what? Blasphemy against the fame, against the reputation of the Most High. Right, for example, they put their image, right, where it's meant to be the image of the Messiah, they put their image, right, laid up in the book of the law, wherein the heathen son to paint their likeness. Nothing's new under the sun. Okay? We live in a cyclical world, cyclical world. Right, it won't be healed. Babylon won't be healed. We'll say that for starters. But the whole earth won't be healed until Yahawashi returns and that righteous rulership is set back on top. So verse 25, Verse 25, Daniel 7. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. Now you can see that would seek the truth. He would seek to change times and laws. Now it tells you in the book of Baruch, the 4th chapter I believe it is, that the law endures forever. So you can't change the law. And guess what? The time also endures forever. The sky is a clock, right? You have lesser light, also known as the moon, the greater light for the day, right? And obviously the stars are in there as well. And that was all set up for a purpose. And the day starts in the evening, right? That's why it says Genesis 1 and 5, and the evening and the morning were the first day. But this man's switched it round to even where some Israelite groups are teaching the day starts. Obviously the light period starts at that time. But when does the day actually change? Well, for the moon is the sign of feasts. Okay, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. That also proves that the full moon is not the new moon. Right? If a light decreases in her perfection, then that would mean at when the light is lightest, then it begins to decrease. Well, that's the full moon. It decreases in a perfection. A new moon increases. Okay, it begins to increase. You have waning and you have waxing. So waning is when it goes down, and waxing is when it gets bigger. Like the house of Saul waxed worse and worse. It grew worse. All right. So seek to change times. Another one is the Sabbath, right? Even again, who a lot of Israelite groups teach, the Sabbath, for example, is Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Now they've got the sundown part right, okay, although some groups do teach, right, it's Saturday daytime, you know, which there's no really even, anyway, that comes from Saturn, right? When you check the days of the days of the week in this man's system, you have Saturday, which means what? Saturn's day. The day that you reverence Saturn, which is one of these false idols of the heathen, right? Of these other nations. One of these false gods. So really, when is the Sabbath? It's when the new moon comes in. That marks the first day of the month, right? And that itself will be a Sabbath, a new moon. Another thing is the 48ers, the ones with hats that aren't large. They like to keep the Sabbath Friday to sundown, Saturday sundown. However, they don't keep the new moon. There's nothing in there about the new moon. When it clearly says throughout the scriptures about the new moon, blow the trumpet in the new moon, right? Psalm 81, so on and so forth. So when is the Sabbath? It's 6 days after, or 7. If you take it on the day, it's 7 days from that day. So it's the same day of the week, if you like. There's 6 days between it. And then after the new moon, then is a Sabbath. All right, so the Sabbath is based on the moon. It also says in Leviticus 23 and verse 2, it says, "Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feasts of the Lord, Yahawah, which ye shall proclaim to the holy convocations, even these are my feasts." Then it goes on, 6 days shall work be done, right? But on the 7th you will rest, paraphrasing. That's the Sabbath day, right? So the Sabbath day, therefore, we learn here is a feast, right? We also learn, or going back to what I quoted from the Apocrypha, in chapter 43 and verse 7, it says, "From the moon is the sign of feasts." So how do we know when the Sabbath is? By the moon as well, right? So beware of this, right? He will seek to change times and laws. Don't be ensnared by the devil, all right? Next video, Lord willing, shalom.